Okay, so we are we are sitting in the back of the Century in your driveway in Chattanooga, Tennessee right now.
Yeah, we are.
We're
And
not we're not going anywhere cool.
Deep in Eastridge, the Scridge.
The Scridge?
Yep.
Is that what they call it on the streets here?
Some do. Mostly Matt Herring at Matty Ice. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I know him.
Okay, well, sorry. But I'm pretty sure he coined that term, and now it's just everybody knows it.
The Scridge.
Yeah, but luckily my mailing address does say Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm actually pretty happy with that because when we were shopping for houses, I was like, I don't want to live in Eastridge because I don't want my address to say Eastridge, Tennessee.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
But no, I'm kidding. It's a great little town, and
It's a sweet house, man.
Close to everything. So
yeah. So to fill everyone in, you and Carly have just purchased a house and are in the process of renovating the yard, the house, still moving in even.
Yeah.
But it's a sweet place, man. I mean, I know you're kind of crammed into like a little neighborhood, but you've got a long driveway, half acre of land, plenty of space, 2-car little carport off the house, and boy, it's great. It's the best looking house on the street, in my opinion.
Appreciate that. Yeah, we like it a lot. It was built in 1930, and it's got some character. It's got a lot of flaws, but it's really neat. And that was one thing we really wanted, an older home that we could kind of make our own because, Carly's got an eye for everything. And I mean, this is going to be like a Pinterest house, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's going to always have photos of it'll look really cool on the internet.
It's already looking like it's headed that way, which is really cool.
Yeah, we're pumped. We've been busy. 2020, we've been busy. We got engaged. We're getting married in December, having a little small wedding.
And
we're having a baby.
You're having a baby.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much, dude. I'm so excited.
I like how when we were on the phone back a couple weeks ago before I hit the road for Ocean City and then ultimately on down to here, I was laying under the Ford doing U-joints in the drive shaft. My dad was under the truck too with me at the time. He needed a hand doing something. And I had you on speakerphone and we were talking about the house and you were kind of talking about like your end goal at the house or whatever, and you were like, we might only be in this house for 4 or 5 years, and at that point we'll have a 4 or 5 year old. But it didn't go over my head. Like you said it that quickly as if it would go over my head, but I was like, oh, congratulations, man. And you're like, oh yeah, like guess you caught that.
Yeah. Well, that's been like a game. Like before we announced it to the internet and the world, we were just telling like some friends of ours and family members and whatnot, but the way we were doing it was just for fun. Like we would just
say things like that,
subtle hint, little drops, and like everybody would be like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like a double take.
Yeah. So that was fun. We enjoyed doing that.
Yeah. You know what else I noticed on the way down here is my navigation, like my Google Maps nav, the female voice that speaks to me pronounces Chattanooga.
Yep, the proper way.
I thought that was pretty funny. I thought about our first episode where we talked about that for the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. If there's a camera or a GoPro recording us talking and you mention anything about Chattanooga, I'm probably going to say Chattanooga or however you say it.
Yeah, or if I say Chattanooga, you say it the proper way or the way you think it should be pronounced. Yeah.
Around here, we say Chattanooga.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, speaking of Chattanooga, we are 2 days away from Riverside version 2 for 2020.
Yep.
Last time you and I sat down for one of these, for the full-length podcast, I was down here for Riverside 2020, and the city locked itself down the day before the show.
Yeah, about 20 hours before the event was going live, the day of our pre-meet. Not even 5 or 6 hours before the pre-meet, I got the fatal phone call that the mayor had shut the city down and shut the events down for
200 people or more or whatever.
Yeah, state of emergency. So I mean, with no warning, and I mean, we had
people from all over.
Yeah, we had thousands of people from out of state in, and I mean, most of our vendors are coming from out of state. You came from out of state, for this event, and it was a blow, but we had a great time, and we did a pop-up shop Saturday morning at our buddy his restaurant bar, the Bitter Alibi.
Yep.
And we set up a table, and we sold just event T-shirts and stickers, and I mean, there's plenty of people, had safely. We had a very good time. There were the 2 or 3 parking lots like within the block filled up, and people got to hang out outside and do things because it was still early days. We didn't really know what
Nobody
was going
knew.
on. Yeah, social distancing wasn't really a thing yet. And
well, and because I mean, I was down here staying with you. I mean, the day of, you were frantically calling every single venue that was hopefully available, trying to get the show moved over to there. And yeah, I mean, you were even looking beyond like Knoxville and like other places, and it just it didn't work out. But
but we ended up having a really good time still. And and that was the thing, like the general like vibe from the weekend was people still had a good time. There were some pop-up meets around town hosted by other organizations and businesses, and it still felt successful. We didn't really get much flack or anything from not actually being able to host the event or having to cancel it like 20 hours before the event was supposed to start.
I remember you were pretty stressed out about that, but we knew that like what was going on was a chain reaction event where all the other cities were doing the same thing. Yeah. So everybody, for the most part, anyone with a brain in their head would know that you weren't just pulling the plug for your own reasons or whatever. It was clear that, this was something that was happening, not just countrywide, but worldwide. So, but here we are. It's October. It's beautiful down here, man. It is. Yeah. And luckily for us, it's beautiful up home in New Hampshire, too. I mean, October is my favorite month of the year up there. It does get chilly. I mean, we had a couple mornings with frost before I came down here. So it's nice it's nicer to come down here in like November or December when it's like gotten cold and fall's over and we're kind of getting into winter. But
yeah, because honestly, like November is whenever it actually, the weather starts to change here because we're a month or two behind, and it also doesn't get like that cold here.
Right.
It's not Florida, but it's, and there's been plenty of Halloween nights where we're wearing t-shirts and it's hot out.
Right.
And then there's Halloween nights like a couple of years ago we did a Riverside like pop-up like spooky meet downtown, and it was the first cold night of the year, and the sun had gone down and it was in like the 30s. Yeah. And it was actually cold. Halloween night. It was very cold.
Yeah, and likewise we've had Halloween nights where we've had a foot of snow.
Wow.
2011. I'll never forget that one because I was dating a girl that lived about an hour south of me, and I stayed the night down there and woke up in the morning and there was a foot of snow on my truck, and I was like, what on earth? Actually, I do remember it was snowing the night of because we went out to eat, and on our way back to like her place or whatever, the kids were out trick-or-treating and the plow trucks were plowing the roads, and I'm like, this is insane. So yeah, so I'm happy that you're holding this at the beginning of October. Happy that it was back-to-back weekends with Ocean City because we were more or less halfway here in Ocean City. But hopefully on our way home, or once we get home, we still have 3 weeks of autumn to enjoy up there, because I've already seen some foliage photos from up north in the mountains, and it's like it's already like full-blown foliage colors, and because it's getting chilly. So, but tonight, it's Thursday as we're recording this, Thursday before the Saturday of Riverside version 2 2020, and we're doing a Governor's Club pop-up meet at the Daily Ration, which is in downtown Chattanooga. We just ate next door there for lunch, and I'd been there with you before when I came down for the 4th of July last year, but yeah, really excited about that. Looks like they got plenty of parking. Hopefully we'll get, at least 20 of our favorite cars kind of lined up, and real excited for that. And yeah, and then tomorrow, when would normally be the pre-meet, we're just going to have like a bunch of people here at your house.
Yeah, we're going to do kind of a little staff thing and just kind of get together, have our staff members here, and then just a couple of friends, and hang out, eat some pizza, and I'll get to just chat about what's going on and catch up before the craziness of Saturday. Yep. So it'll be good. Carly made like a fire pit in the backyard.
I saw that.
So maybe we'll burn the house down. Who knows?
I think there's enough of us here that can help stop that before. Unless you want to burn all that brush up front that you've been hauling out of the backyard.
Yeah, well, that's actually a good idea. It's all dead now.
Giant bonfire. It's all dry enough.
Yeah. Yep.
So let's talk about your Sportcross. So when I came down through here for Simply Clean last year, I hauled my Corvair down, and rather than going straight to Daytona, I kind of went out of the way and came out here to Chattanooga first. and we were headed on down through Marietta, Georgia, where your Sportcross was at Coru Works, finishing up the 1J Turbo R154 swap. And unfortunately, that trip, they ran into some issues. It was a last-second thing. They were trying to button up some things, and then when we came down to ultimately get the car, something happened, and I think you guys blew out the front main seal or something. And it was one of those things where it couldn't be fixed in a couple hours, and then we hit the road type deal.
Yeah.
But since we had to go on to Daytona for Simply Clean without your car, you are now in possession of the car.
Yeah.
It's running and driving. I know there's a few things that you still want to critique and kind of button up on it, but you've just recently worked out some cool stuff with BC Racing, and you've got some BC wheels on the car now.
Yeah. I've been running BC Racing coilovers for a long time, and I work with Serial 9 on control arms and door arms and all that stuff. And but yeah, we put some BC forged MLE 81s on it last week. Got them ceramic coated.
Looks great.
Yeah, and some New Yokohama tires, but I'm very, very happy with it. The look, a lot of the new school designs that like BC and some of the newer like US companies put out, it doesn't really go with the style of my car that usually, but that this wheel has more of that classic motorsport step lip, mesh face style that I liked. And
yeah, it looks good.
So I'm pretty excited about it.
And
showing it.
Your old wheels, I was real stoked on with the car, those Kanzais you had on there. And yeah, like I was telling you yesterday, I wasn't too sure. It's obviously your car, but I was curious as to how I was going to like the aesthetic of the BCs on the car in relation to how it looked with the Kanzais. And man, after when we pulled in your yard yesterday, was it yesterday? No, it was Tuesday. Tuesday evening. I don't even know what day it is anymore. Yeah. Seeing it in person for the first time, basically, it looked amazing. I was like, oh, this looks like way crazier than I thought it was going to look. So looks great. And now, it looks great with the contrast of like the silver brushed centers, polished lips with the black car. Looks great.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm very excited with it.
Well, and it sounds amazing because we just cruised this car, the Century, and your Sportcross to go get lunch, and we got to follow you not only through downtown Chattanooga but over the highway for a few exits. And man, does that 1J sound good! Sounds so good. It's
my favorite sounding engine. I mean, it really is just a nice, finely tuned, like 300 to 500 wheel horsepower 1JZ.
That's enough
with
man.
The right exhaust on it. I mean, it's great. Yeah, obviously, like there are a lot of other engines that sound incredible, but for me, as just like a street car, it's my favorite.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
Having a Sportcross that's 1JZ swap and manual, but since none of the Sportcrosses built for the North American market came manual from the factory,
right?
So having a swapped one has been a bucket list goal for me for like 10 or 12 years.
Yeah, that's
so it's
awesome.
Just so nice that it's finally coming together and just starting to see it. And that's so cool because I feel like we get to relate in that because you've wanted to do like long wheelbase Century stuff for 10 years or more. Yeah, and like, that's just that. It's just nice to see like when friends really put in that that effort to work towards their like real passionate goals of in the what cars I want and the style that I want it to be and like attaining that. That's so cool because I feel like I've reached for that for so long and like watch friends do the same thing or they settle for whatever is easiest or whatever they have at the moment. But like it's so cool to be like, all right, here you go.
Yeah, and I was going to mention that before you did, where it's like that was a goal for yours for a solid decade, and we're sitting in my like decade-long goal, and it's kind of crazy when you start to think about it because as I mentioned to you before, it's after a while, like when it sits in your driveway, it becomes just like a compilation of steel and plastic and a steering wheel, and you look at all the issues it has or all the things you still need to do on the car, and it gets stressful, and it might be out of sight, out of mind. This year specifically has been a tough year for like my industry, and it's sitting in the carport, and I didn't want to spend any money that I didn't have to spend this year, so I didn't spend any money on this car to keep the project rolling and to keep me excited about it. And so there are plenty of times throughout the year this year where I was just, I was ready to sell it. And I had some offers, some offers well over what I have into the car. And I'm like, boy, I don't know. And so I started to look at the car as equity and not for what it actually is, for how long I wanted one and for how rare it actually is. So bringing the car to Ocean City and then on down to here, and even just I've really only interacted with you with the car down here in Chattanooga, but in Ocean City, man, it totally woke me up to like how crazy it is to actually own one of these cars, and how long I've really longed for one, really. So yeah, so it's kind of cool. It kind of brought me back down to earth, where I'm like, all right, I'll go home, I'll grind harder. I won't just use this like selling this car as like the way out, like the easy way out. So yeah, and in that scenario, I'm fortunate, or I'm grateful that like some people have been like, whoa, because in Ocean City there were some people that had no idea what it was, that were just curious, and as I'm describing it, they're like, whoa, that's insane that Toyota built such a car. And then I'm thinking to myself, yeah, it is, and I actually own it. It was just kind of crazy. Then you talk to some people who knew exactly what this car was, but never thought they'd ever see one in person, and they're like losing their mind. They're like, whoa, like this is so crazy. And so that helps. And I'm sure a lot of people who have had a similar dream that you've already realized, with having that specific drivetrain and manual swap in a Sportcross, and all of a sudden they see yours and they're like, whoa, like this is what it looks and sounds like, to get that done. So that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, being able to like share that enjoyment with somebody, like that's just fun.
It's contagious too.
It really is.
Yeah.
And then you really kind of look back at it as from like a different perspective again, like what you were kind of saying. Just it's nice because there's been a couple of years just working on that car, or whenever it was at Kourou getting the swap and everything done to it, where it was just like I was losing interest.
Yeah.
And that sucks. Like that, I don't like that feeling at all.
Yeah, no, it's a defeating feeling because you almost feel like you're giving up, taking the easy way out. I feel like that a lot with some of my cars, and that's why if I let one go that I don't particularly want to let go, I try to like make all the money on it, because there's my justification where it's like, all right, that happened with the E23 7 Series. I'm like, I don't really want to sell this car, but strike while the iron's hot type deal.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And that day might come with this car. I had a few friends who kind of have their finger on the pulse for what some of these like Japanese and European oddity rare cars are doing, thanks to like Bring a Trailer and other online auction websites. But thinking about maybe in the next 5 years this car being like worth more than I could really imagine it being worth is kind of an optimistic outlook, where I'm like, well, maybe for another 5 years I get to enjoy the car, and then sell it for even more than what I think was a good deal now, so so it's really cool to see you kind of have realized that dream, sort of say, with the Sportcross too, and kind of, I mean, I know the 4Runner isn't like probably like a dream build, but might be a bucket list one.
Oh yeah,
because now you've recently sold your Lexus GX that you had built into like an off-road. It was a daily, but like a daily off-road rig. Because as we talked about on the full-length podcast last time, that you and Carly put on the Chattanooga off-road meet. That's a once-a-month meet.
Yeah, we host a main like meet and off-road ride with kind of all different skill levels once a month, first Saturday of every month typically.
Right. Yeah.
But we have like it's based off of a Facebook group that we created a couple years ago, where it's really just a community forum where people can get together and be like, hey, I'm going to go off-roading today. This is where I'm going. If anybody wants to come with me, that'd be great.
Right.
Or hey, I'm stuck and I need help. And that's something we see pretty regularly, where it's like, I've got a problem, or something broke, or I'm out here on the side of a mountain and I found service. Can anybody come? And it's the amount of support has been awesome to watch, just from our little Facebook group we thought of. But yeah, that's something we're really excited about. And that 4Runner,
which you picked up when you sold your GX. Actually, you had both for a little bit, but you sold the GX, and now you've got it's a first gen.
Yeah, first gen, 1987. And I didn't even really want a 1987. I started to kind of look around at first gen 4Runners again, because I've been wanting one for a long time, and mostly because my old boss at the bicycle shop that I worked at for a while, Shane Adams.
Shout out to Shane.
Yeah, shout out Shane. He owned a first gen 4Runner, and I loved it. It was just so cool to me, and being able to drive it. And I went with him the day he bought it and tinkered with him, and I said for years, I'm going to buy this truck from you, and it just never worked out. He ended up selling it. So anyway, he sold it in like 2018, but I was looking around, I don't know, a few months ago or whatever, before I bought this one, and I was looking for like an 84, 85, because I wanted a factory solid axle front end, and I was looking for like a nice clean example, but they're they're kind of hard to come by now. It's like
Yeah.
decent condition
Mhm.
and not overly modified or just beat up. And I came across this black 1987 4Runner, and it was Shane's old 4Runner, and I was just blown away by it because I'd missed my opportunity to purchase this from him a couple of times because it just didn't line up right, the timing or whatever. And then I found this truck, and I hit that guy up, and I think he had posted it like 4 hours before, and I said,
Wow.
I'll cash in hand. I want to come look at it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or like, can I come today or something like that?
It's funny you say that because I actually forgot that was actually Shane's,
Yeah.
the one that kind of got away for you. So,
Yeah.
I forgot all about that. So
Yeah.
that's really cool.
And it's rough. It's really not that bad. I mean, exterior wise, you look at it, it looks pretty good. And
I haven't
the
seen it.
interior is pretty good, but
yeah.
but you know, and I'm going to be completely redoing it because it is kind of like a bucket list truck
Yep.
that I want to extensively build and modify, and for it to be extremely capable off road. So it takes mine and Carly's skill levels to the next level, and we can just be more proficient and also be doing stupider, more fun things out
Right.
in the woods.
Yep.
And if I, slide that thing into a tree, then I'm not going to be as upset about it as I would have been like with my GX or my Tacoma or whatever. There were nicer vehicles.
Right,
So, and then I
right.
needed a daily drive. So this thing I can,
Yeah, it can be
really
more,
enjoy it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. More of a project, and you can kind of drive it a little harder,
Yeah.
take on some bigger projects with it. Doesn't have to be put back together the next morning, for any sort of errands you have to run or for
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's cool. I would still love to put together an off-road rig at some point, but I just have too many projects. And obviously the truck I'm building now is a street truck, the 52
Mhm.
cab over. That's not an off-road rig by any means. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, I geek out about that weird Japanese stuff. I mean, I geek out about the Dodge Raiders, the Mitsubishi Dodge
Mhm.
Raiders, the first gen Isuzu Troopers. I like all that weird boxy stuff.
Which Carly has one.
Yeah, I knew her dad had it. Or
Yeah.
something, right?
So yeah, her dad had it, and I think they bought it new, or they bought it right after it came out.
Yeah.
It's an 88 or 89, like the tweed headliner and everything. I mean, it's a super cool little
Yeah,
truck.
yeah, they're rad.
And,
Does it have the 3/4 door?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's got like a 75/25
yeah.
door,
Yeah.
60/40, whatever you want to call it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It needs just a little work. And essentially, her dad just still has it up there because
Yep.
we kind of need to have more time to really put into it to get it to be off-roadable. But that's kind of a goal, is to bring that truck down here and work on it and get it to where her and I can go out and we're taking cool old school 80s trucks.
That's what I mean.
into
Yeah,
the
it'd be really
woods,
cool because you've got a first gen 4Runner.
Yeah.
She'll have a first gen Trooper. Yeah, it'd be kind of a cool setup. And
Yeah.
that one's probably the V6 that came in those.
I
Isuzu?
think so.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
were kind of like a problematic motor, but
Yeah.
hopefully, I mean, if it's just a trail rig, it just needs to start that day and run
Yeah.
that day. It's not like she's going to be daily driving it to work,
Yeah.
to and from or whatever. So
And those things are so inexpensive now. I mean, you can buy them running and driving for like $1,500.
yeah,
That we could just buy parts trucks if we needed to, or honestly yank the motor and like
put something else
Chevy 350 or something in
Yeah.
it. Make
4BT,
give it some low end torque. Yeah,
4BT Cummins in it.
Yeah,
That'd be
let's
so
drop a
sick.
$12,000
No,
crate engine in it.
no, you can find those 4BTs in like the bread vans.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
you
true.
used to be able to buy those bread vans from like Pepperidge Farm or all those bakeries that had
Yeah.
like the step vans, and or even like the small box trucks and stuff. You used to be able to buy those for a couple $1,000s, but all the guys that had like short wheelbase off-road rigs, like the Jeeps,
Mhm.
Jeep Wranglers and all that, they were putting those 4BTs in those things like it was going out of style.
Yeah.
So now those bread vans are like more expensive,
Yeah.
obviously, since everybody wants a 4BT. But you're right, like a crate 4BT, like a brand new crate 4BT, yeah, it's like $10,000-$12,000.
And actually, an idea that we've had and we've kind of talked about before is my 4Runner is a 22 RE truck, and I love the motor. It's and it runs well. But my goal is to put either a Volkswagen turbo diesel in it,
Like
or
a 1.9.
yeah, 1.9, or like a excuse me, like a inline 5 OM 617 or an OM 606, like
Yeah.
turbo diesel.
Yeah.
Out of a Mercedes
motor.
in it,
Yeah.
because those are just so cool. I just
Yeah.
all that low end, just torque.
Yeah, very torquey,
Yeah.
pretty reliable, very reliable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can still get parts for them.
And then,
Yeah.
so it essentially, because the 22 RE is still a great engine, if I did that swap to the 4Runner, probably put the 22 RE in the Trooper.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's like a thing, but
It
it's
could be
just
a
a
thing.
thought we've had before.
It certainly could be a thing.
It would definitely make the Trooper more reliable and more fun, and I already know it would be dialed in, so
Yeah, yeah,
we may need to look into that.
yeah. That'd be sweet. That'd be
Yeah.
sweet. Well, cool, man. This says I'd love to do another full length, like while we're here this weekend.
Yeah.
That way we can because last time, here's the thing. Last time it might have been like within my first 5 episodes of the podcast, and I hadn't like gotten into my own rhythm with it. And I remember, man, we got like halfway through, and I had to pee so bad I couldn't even handle it. And I was like, I was hell bent on the podcast being a one shot, one take
Yeah.
deal. And since then, like even if I'm doing one by myself or I've got someone else with me that has to go to the bathroom, like or whatever, like I just paused and then cut and splice it in
Yeah.
post. I'm like, I don't even care. So this time, because we were getting into like we had so much more content to talk about on that episode because we were getting into like music and
Yeah.
we were kind of getting deep and talking about like our past music days and stuff. And I remember like the last probably solid 45 minutes, I had to pee so bad I couldn't even see straight. I was like, and when I listened to it back, it's hilarious because you can tell I was like trying to wrap things up, and you're like, well, and expanding on things, and I was like, had to go to the bathroom so bad.
Well, I'd finally like gotten on a roll. I was like, okay, we warmed up. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
I guess we're shutting it down, boys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, if we do another full length, I don't want to have to worry about that. We can just let it roll.
Yeah,
And-
you can just go. I'll just take the mic.
Yeah.
We'll just chat.
Yeah.
I'll just yawn a bunch because I'm really tired.
I'm really tired right now.
Yeah.
Are you really tired?
Let's just take a nap.
Man,
All
this,
right. Good night.
these I'm standing here, my eyes are getting heavy, but here's the thing. In the Century, I've got the little rear smoker windows open here, and the front windows are open, so, anyone listening who's not watching on YouTube can hear, like, ambient noise of vehicles and stuff. But
Like those sirens
Yeah,
earlier. I'm sure that'll be picked
oh, yeah,
up.
for sure. And it is what it is. We're recording from a car outside.
Yeah, it's fun.
But it's warm in here, and the seats are super comfortable.
It is very comfy.
And my side is, like, reclined a little bit, and the massagers work.
Does my side recline?
Yes, it does. And I'm telling you, man, we could easily just like fall asleep with this thing still rolling.
Oops. Turns into like a 2-hour episode. It is
Yeah.
a full length, and it's just us napping.
Rhythmic snoring.
I mean, I'd nap with you
Man.
in
This
this car.
Yeah, this car is the one to do it in, man. It is so comfortable. Well, we got to get ready for the TGC meet.
Yep.
That's going on tonight. And if you're listening to this, we've already had the meet, but hopefully if you are in the Chattanooga area, we see you there tonight.
Yep. It was
And-
great. It was fun. You missed out. Come
Better-
on now.
Better luck next time.
Yep. We'll be
Yeah.
here. Oh, we haven't announced this yet, but Riverside 6 spring. We're going back to spring. It won't be a fall thing. Well, we want it to be fall, but it's hard to get the venue
Yes.
for that. So that's why we're typically a spring event. But Riverside 6, we're going to be releasing the date on the day after Riverside 5. So this Sunday will be March 20th, 2021.
Cool. March 20th, 2021.
Yep.
And by the time this goes live, it will, like the day that
Yeah.
you announce this has passed. So good to know. March 20th, 2021.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I'd say if you're in the Tennessee area, come out. But I mean, I come down from New Hampshire every year. So if you are looking for the first show of the season to get to, yeah, get down to Chattanooga, Tennessee, because it's worth it. It's a good time.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. I mean, this is if you count this spring, it's my 5th one, I think. 4. I think this upcoming year was 4 that I was there. So this one's technically 5, I think. We'll just call it that. But
Works for me.
this past spring was going to be the first year I actually had a car down here.
Yeah, I was bummed.
But we're sitting in the car that I really wanted to have here last March, but it wasn't done yet.
This will work.
I guess it's
This isn't as rusty as the other one.
no, thankfully. Some people could say thankfully.
No, this is going to be awesome. It legitimately will be like the staple car at the rear like exit part centered. It's
Awesome.
going to be really cool.
Awesome. I'm excited to see it there. I'm excited to see it around other cars and other VIP cars because Nax and the Fortune Mind guys are driving all of their VIP cars up from Miami. That's
Yeah.
so crazy that they do that
Yeah.
every year. But it'll be really cool to see this car, the car that started the VIP car like scene,
Mhm.
to be around other like real crazy aftermarket VIP cars. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to having the TGC booth there. I'm not looking forward to being anchored to the booth all day. That's not my thing. But I'm excited to have TGC there as like a presence and be selling some cool merchandise.
Corey and Kyron can help out.
I'm sure. Yeah, they're great. So I'm sure
Yeah.
they'll jump to it, which is awesome. If I need to like, relieve myself or eat some food,
Yeah.
which is necessary throughout the day usually. So, well, cool, man. This is episode 2 of the podcast of the century, man. Thank you so much for doing this.
Well, thank you for having me.
You didn't have to go far. I know you came out your front door and walked right in the car.
Super long walk.
Yeah. But we'll try to do a full length. That'd be awesome to do another full length. I want to utilize the time that I'm down here and with you guys because we're going into winter up north and it's going to be a long winter up there. And I'll be happy I'd stacked some of this stuff up to release, as we go through the winter months. So, well, thank you guys for listening. We are off to the TGC meet with the Century. It'd be awesome to just take a nap here and we can just have somebody drive us and then we're there. But
I mean,
it could happen.
like we
It is
have
possible.
people that can do that.
Yeah. But, well, cool. Mason Gavin, at Mason, Mason Gavin, Gavin, right? No punctuation in there. It's just
Nope. Plain
Mason
and simple.
Gavin. Perfect. And then at Riverside, Chattanooga. At
It has 2
Chattanooga
T's in it.
Off-road, is that the other one?
Yeah. I don't remember.
I don't know.
It's
Chattanooga Off-Road Monthly Meet.
Let's pull it up
Yeah, go ahead and pull it up.
because I don't remember. Carly
Carly
runs all of that.
I think it's Chattanooga Off-Road Monthly Meet.
I think
it's a long one.
I think it's Chat Off-Road Meet or
yes,
Chat
okay.
Monthly. Dude, of course I can't pull anything
I
up.
feel like monthly.
Here we go. Chat Off-Road Monthly Meet.
With 2 T's. Chat, 2 T's.
Yeah.
Yep.
CHATT.
So
Off-road.
Yeah, so anyone that's digging on off-road stuff, that's the off-road meet that they do. They share some off-road goodies, photos from their runs, their meetups, and Riverside, Chattanooga for all things Riverside. March 20th, 2021 is the next date.
Yep.
And Mason Gavin on Instagram.
Oh, real quick.
I gotta pee, man. We can't do this. No, I'm just-
So it was actually supposed to be, we had the date, like paperwork and everything done for April 13th.
that would have been awesome.
No, I'm sorry, April 10th.
Yep.
Saturday, April 10th, 2021. And we were stoked about getting back in April because we had 2017, we'd done it in April. And we had more people we'd ever had. And
Yes.
the weather was amazing. It was an incredible show. And everybody has been asking for us to go back in April. But the logistics and so many other events in the Southeast and getting the venue, the pavilion for April is near impossible.
Yeah.
But it would just looked out, and we had it scheduled for April 10th, Saturday, 2021, for Riverside 6, and then Carly had to get pregnant,
Yeah.
and we're due on April 13th. So I
Yep.
said, let's just knock it back a little bit
I
before
figured
that.
that's where you're going with that.
Yeah,
That's partially your fault too, though. So
yeah, that's true. No,
Well-
I'm beyond excited.
I know you are.
And-
I know you guys. This
yeah.
is what you've wanted. This isn't like a surprise. You guys had planned all
Yeah.
this out, and I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So let's end on that note.
Okay, bye. See ya.
Thanks for listening. Bye bye.
That was fun.
Yeah, man. These are fun. I'm out.